All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Double honors to our apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men, the women, and the children who follow. So, today we're going to get into, of course, everything that's going on with the debt ceiling and alternative forms of money, all leading to the M.O.T.B. So, Lord's will is going to be edifying, and let's start with that scripture.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7 and verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
Right, so who is that he? That he is Esau. All right, the so-called white man. He made a pit and digged it. So what does the pit stand for? What is the pit? What's the purpose of a pit? It's to capture something, to capture a wild animal. It's a trap. So the so-called white man is setting up a trap for the whole world to catch them. Okay, but it says that he is going to fall into his own trap.
The N.O.T., just to back you up, says they dig a deep pit to trap others and fall into it themselves.
Yeah. And how are they going to fall into it themselves? Well, let's go into the trap. What's the trap? Of course, the trap is going to be this whole great reset, so to speak. The transition, the pivot from one monetary system to another, giving him all control, giving him all power over our lives, over everybody's life, over the known existence, I'll say. It
says, reading on, verse 16 says, his mischief shall return upon his own head.
Yeah, it's going to return upon his own head, because he believes that he is God. He believes that he can have carte blanche over the world, but all he's doing is really setting it up for prophecy to come to pass and the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, along with the angels, to end the missiles to eradicate this place. And then what? Then we're going to have a kingdom wherein dwells righteousness.
It says, I will praise the Lord Yahweh according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Most High.
Yeah, so the righteous going to do what the righteous do. All right, we're just exposing this devil. We're preaching to the people, repentance and salvation. Because we're at the end of this thing. Like, this is the hopeful year that we get out of here, and we got a couple of articles lined up, and just from these articles, it's a very good chance that the M.O.T.B can be implemented this year.
Okay. So this is the first article from CNN. It's titled, "The World Has a Major Debt Problem."
What's the date on it?
From January 17th, 2023. So it says, the world has a major debt problem. Is a reset coming?
Is it what coming?
A reset.
All right, so hold on. Before you go into that, I want to get this word reset. Get the word reset, Bubba Rashad?
You get the etymology of the word reset. All right, it says to place, also reset from the 1650s. To place or replace a gem in a setting, meaning back, or again, set meaning place.
Right, so you're going to place again, you're going to take something out of place and put something in its place. So right now we have the fiat currency. You got your dollar bills, but now they're trying to pivot into digital. Then when everything, right now it's on your phone or on a card or something like that, your digital wallet, but eventually it's going to be in you. It's going to be in your hand or on your forehead. All right?
Oh, get this definition, Dr. Shaw?
Yeah.
I'm just laying back. It says reset, the verb sense. It says to set anew, set to zero, adjust.
To set to zero. Because why? We're in debt. Alright? And the brother's going in on how far the world is in debt. So in order to get out of debt, you have to get back to zero. Before you can get to the positive, before you get in the green, you got to get even. So in order to do that, they're going to have to reset this whole world. Reset the monetary system.
It says adjust again after an initial failure.
Right. Just like you was playing Super Mario Brothers when you was a kid. You know, I'm probably dating myself, but you know, you can hit that reset button and it starts the game all the way over. You restart your phone. You know, the phone goes off and comes back on what? The factory setting, on your home page. So that's what the world, that's what they're saying that the world needs. They've run this system so far into the ground that there needs to be a reset. They need a do-over. It's a mulligan. Right. It's like you're trying to color inside the lines. You went outside the lines. Esau done went all the way outside the lines. He's in the margin.
Start looking around, coloring. You know.
So it says, So it says the world has a major debt problem. Is a reset coming? It says the world is in debt, a record amount of debt. $300 trillion to be exact. That's the total amount that governments, households, and corporations around the world owed in June 2022, as estimated by the Institute of International Finance.
And you ain't coming back from that, man. 300 trillion?
Yep. 300
trillion, and it's 8 billion people, and that number came up to what, 37,000? 37,500?
Yep.
Per person. A lot of people in America don't even make that in a year.
Yeah.
You know, after taxes. And you got people in third world countries living off of, 10 cents a day. So there's no coming back from this. That's why there would have to be a great reset. Because, like I said, they took this system and they ran it into the ground. It's a debt-based system where you create $1, but this dollar is debt. So in order to pay back this dollar, you got to make another dollar. So now you can pay back this dollar, but now you owe for this dollar. So now you got to get $2 more to pay for these dollars, and so on and so forth. And now we're 30 trillion as a country and 300 trillion as a global economy. So it was doomed to fail from the beginning. But like the scripture says, he digged the pit. This was the whole trap the whole time. This is all part of the plan. Okay, to get off the gold standard, to bring in a fiat currency, to let it be, whatever it is. If they tell us, empty water bottles is money, then empty water bottles is money. And we're going to get into that a little bit later, but essentially, man, it was doomed from the start. But this is all part of the illuminated ones. It's part of their plan to take over the world. Yeah, you can read that.
God, this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Yeah, man. The so-called white man that raped, robbed, and murdered the whole planet, and now he's in charge of everything, and of course he increased that which is not his. He stole everything, but now he's in a position to where he can't come back. Okay, go ahead.
It says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Right, and that thick clay is the Hebrew word abatya, meaning debt, heavy debt. And you can't come back from this. You took all the resources, hoarded all the resources, and now you set up this system, and now you're just getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more in debt, and you can't do nothing. You're handcuffing yourself. It kind of sounds like we're going back and forth because we're saying that he set it up like this, which he did set it up like this, but at the same time, we're still having to live through it. So this is, it's at the end of the day, it's all prophecy. It was all written from the beginning. Yeah.
So back in the CNN, it says that number is about 349% of global gross domestic product, and the equivalent of $37,500 of debt for every single person in the world.
So I want to get into the gross domestic product for a second. So how gross domestic product is added up is basically every dollar that's spent within a country. So me going to the store and buying a jug of water, you know, me getting my check, you know, everyone getting their check, you know, government spending on tanks to Ukraine, you know, parks and rec, you know, everything, every single dollar that's spent. You going to get some gas, everything. And then you also factor in everything that's exported minus everything that's imported. Because if you're exporting, you're selling stuff, you're making money off of it. But if you're importing, like for example, England, they drink a lot of tea, drink a lot of coffee, but they can't grow that shit. So they import billions of dollars worth of coffee, and they export very little. So they're in a negative in that category. So, you know, so GDP, all the money that's spent within the economy, plus everything that you're sending out, minus everything that you're paying to come back in. So when you add that number up for every country in the world, the debt is 349% larger than that. And that number is just, you can't comprehend that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense on how they can get to this 37,500 number, because they're $300 trillion in debt. You just take a couple zeros off.
So it says the world's leverage is much higher than it was before the global financial crisis. The government debt to GDP ratio shot up to reach 102% by 2022.
Now think about just like a person in everyday life. If I was walking around and I made $50,000 a year, but I owed $100,000 a year, I wouldn't be able to survive. I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't, you know, pay a car note or buy food. You know, I would be in the red, and that's how these countries have been operating, in the red. That's why they have to keep raising this debt ceiling. That's why they basically, the world can't pay its bills. But if I, as an individual, had these same problems, then I wouldn't be allowed to operate. But these countries have been allowed to operate even this far behind on their bills, this far behind in the red. Go ahead.
So it says why it matters. The demand for debt to help consumers with inflation, rebuild infrastructure, and address climate change keeps on increasing. It says rising interest rates and slowing economies are making the debt burden heavier.
Yeah, so when you think about it, these roads ain't shit. They saying global warming, this, that, and the third, fucking land hurricanes, and negative 40-degree weather in fucking Florida. No,
I'm negative 40 in Florida.
Right. I'm being facetious, but you know what I mean. It's having a toll.
Yeah.
So they're having to spend more money, getting further in debt from all these different, these different areas, and it's putting a burden on the economy. Even furthermore, go ahead.
So it says, Fed funds and European central bank rates were up an average of 3 percentage points in 2022. That could mean $3 trillion more in interest expenses. At the same time, debt has become less productive since 2007. That means the value that each additional dollar borrowed adds to the economy has decreased.
All right, so it's a snowball effect, man. You keep borrowing more, you keep getting more in debt. You keep borrowing more, you keep getting further in debt.
It says what it means. Higher interest rates are already hurting governments and corporations with low credit ratings. Low income households are also struggling with the rising cost of credit card, mortgage, and auto debt. If debt accumulation continues and central banks continue their rate hikes, that burden and fears of a recession will also grow.
Yeah, so your everyday Joe Schmoes, everyday people are feeling it. They're definitely feeling it at the pump. They're feeling it at the grocery store. They're feeling it paying rent. Rent prices went up. Even here in Nebraska, we used to have and it still is pretty moderate, I'll say, for everything around the country. But you used to could get a 3-bedroom apartment for like $600-700. I used to have a 1-bedroom apartment. I paid $400 a month for rent. That same 3-bedroom or that same 1-bedroom has dramatically gone up. Now that same 3-bedroom is like $1,000, $1,200. Damn near double, if not double. People are feeling these costs, and then corporations, because corporation, in order to establish themselves, they're having to borrow money, but now you're not borrowing money at that 1%, that 4%. Now they're wanting 8%, they're wanting 10%. So everybody's feeling it everywhere. So that's why fears of the recession, and everything that comes along with it, those fears are growing, right. As they should, right. Because it's like a shit pile, man. You keep stacking it up and stacking it up and stacking it up. It's just going to keep getting bigger. This is why they're saying that there needs to be a great reset. I'm not trying to justify it, but this is how they're justifying it. But hey, shit, bring it on, because at the end of the day, it just means that we're going to get out of here.
God.
Something that you just said, man. As far as like people really are feeling like they're getting hit heavy in the pockets. There's a young chick that I just seen a video earlier killed herself because she couldn't afford the cost of living as far as her apartment and food. You know what I'm saying? That's how the economy, the way that they're handling the economy is gonna put people in a bad spot. There was even the videos that brother was sending a couple weeks ago. The suicide rate is going up because of this, man. All right, I just wanted to mention that.
No, that's a beautiful point. Going back into what we were speaking about earlier, back in 2008. Back in 2008, you had, of course, Bernie Madoff and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all these people, and the housing crisis collapsed because you had people selling out these housing loans to people who couldn't afford it. You had somebody who was flipping burgers at Burger King, making minimum wage, and you give this dude a $70,000, $80,000 house, okay, and he can't pay the note. So then you default, you lose your money, you lose your investment pretty much. Yeah. You can't pay it, so you lose your house. Now the house goes into the bank possession, Now the bank has to auction off the house. The house is worth, say the house is worth $80,000. They're not going to get $80,000 for it. Now the bank is out. So everybody's, only person that's not really losing is the person who bought the house, but the property value is going down. So even if you buy the house at 50 is worth 80, give it 2 weeks, that worth 80 could go down to 40. Now you lost money too. So that's where they were at back then. And what happened? It was a bubble. And what happens with a bubble? If you blow up a balloon or some gum, it's going to get bigger and bigger and inflate and eventually.
So it says, when the yield on government debt increases, borrowing also becomes more expensive for corporations. Companies in the U.S. feel the trickle-down effect of increased interest rates and may have to raise prices or reduce their spending on growth and expansion to keep up. Rising interest rates also impact stock prices. The Federal Reserve's hikes in 2022 contributed to a nearly 20% decline in the S&P 500.
Yeah, and the stock prices are directly tied into people's 401ks. People are losing, their life savings. I was watching the Bernie Madoff documentary on Netflix, and you had people that literally lost their life savings and their house. Imagine saving up $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, and all of it's gone. And then that same day you lose $500,000, they tell you gotta evacuate your house. That will lead somebody to suicide.
Yeah, but that goes right into Proverbs 29:2, when it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Because
the righteous is not going to set up a debt-based system. It's just, it's not that hard.
It doesn't, just ruling righteousness.
Yeah. They're going to till the land. They're going to till the land. I'm making watermelons. You got a fucking banana farm. You need some watermelons. I need some bananas. It makes sense. You fix cars, I build houses. Hey, I need to do, my transmission went out. Okay, well, you need to do deck on your house. It's bartering. It's not that difficult. But the so-called white man wants to be lord over everything. Yeah. So now you're paying rent each month. You got to pay for gas. You got to pay for water. When they have ways that you can have clean energy, they have nuclear power. Nuclear power can make clean energy for the world for the free, but they're not going to do it. Why? They lose too much money. Your O.P.D. power districts, and all the bills that you pay each month, your water bill, your gas bill, your light bill, all that can be free. Maybe the water. You may have to pay for water. But shit, water is water. Water belongs to everybody. They got a monopoly on water. That's just wicked.
Yeah. So
that's why when the righteous are in rulership, man, we're going to do it right.
I'm just thinking about the water and shit that they give us.
Yeah, man, the brother did that experiment where he took the water gauger or whatnot. He took the bottled water and he took the faucet water, and the faucet water turned black. Made me want to throw up right then and there.
Think about this when we bathe in.
Yeah.
So it has to be a restitution, man. It has to be a restitution. This man has destroyed the whole world.
Yeah, and you can't keep going because even if you do a reset, you're just gonna do it all over again. Like, but it says, what comes next? It says there is no easy way out of a global debt crisis. Avoiding a crisis will require unpopular actions and a quote-unquote great reset of policymaker mindset. That may mean more cautious lending, curbing overconsumption, and restructuring projects or entities that don't make a profit.
Yeah, so basically, not giving that guy who flips burgers at McDonald's, more than he can actually handle, because it puts money in your pocket. Because that's why they do it at the end of the day. Why would I sell you a luxury SUV that's $70,000 and you flip burgers at McDonald's? Because I'm gonna get a fat commission. That's why. But 2 months later, you're gonna lose the vehicle, and you're not gonna have a vehicle because you never could afford it anyway. You just wanted to live beyond your means. So it's basically saying America needs to live within its means, but it'll never do it. Just sending fucking billions of dollars to Ukraine. Why? We're in debt here. You can't fix your own house.
You still got panhandlers. You can get rid of all the poverty that's in America, but he chooses to engage in shit that really ain't your business, man. Spend money on that. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Fucking veterans should not be fucking sitting. They shouldn't be fucking poor. They shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these issues here, and it says that he was it in the apocrypha? It says that he roughly paraphrased. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. If in trouble shall come, thou shalt find him there first. You know.
So it says about that debt limit. Hitting the debt ceiling is a big worry in Washington. The possibility of reaching the self-imposed cap on how much money the U.S. government can borrow currently looms large. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the U.S. could hit it as early as Thursday, which was yesterday, as of right now. It says Congress can avoid the partial government shutdowns, potential cash flow shortfalls, and even the possibility of default by simply raising the ceiling as it has in the past. But House Republicans have said they will not support increasing borrowing limit this time around unless Democrats agree to spending cuts and other concessions.
Right, so basically what they're saying is they need to raise the ceiling, but they also need to cut spending. All right, you can't keep on spending. If you have $100 million, you can't spend $50 million 3 times. You got to cut some fat somewhere. So what they're doing, they're arguing about where they're going to cut the fat. And you got two sides of the same coin who appear to be opposites of each other. But these guys, they go play golf together. They go. I was going to say something, but I don't want to get us. I don't want to get us straight. We know what they be doing. We know what they be doing. But the point is, it's all for show. It's all for show. They're gonna raise the debt ceiling. We know they're gonna raise the debt ceiling. So stop playing and just do it. Or default. Don't do it and default. And go ahead, because we're gonna see what it says.
So it says, in her letter to Congress this weekend, Yellen warned that without action, the U.S. could default on its debt by June. Failure to meet the government's obligations would cause irreparable harm to the U.S. economy, the livelihoods of all Americans, and global financial stability.
Yeah, so basically the whole world will go to shit, in layman's terms. You will feel it in your pocket. You will feel it at the grocery store. Even more so, you thought eggs was expensive now. Let them default on that debt ceiling. Let them keep bickering back and forth and don't not fund the fucking world. Right. That's essentially what it is. It's bills. You sit down each month and you say, well, I got to pay my rent. I got to pay my phone bill. I got to pay the gas. I got to pay the water. You know, I need food in the house. I need toiletries and things like that. And then you see how much money you got left over. Okay, now I can do whatever I want with this. I can go get some liquor. I can go get some shoes. Blah, 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 right? That's what they have to do. They have to say, well, we got to pay the government employees. We can't cut from there. Okay, or, well, we want to send some tanks to Ukraine. Well, how many? Well, let's send 300,000. No, that's too many. We can't send that many. We'll send 10,000. No, that's not enough. So that's what they're doing, and that's what they need to do to come to a limit, basically, so they can just kick the can down the road. Because it happens once a year, about.
Yeah. That they reach the deadline.
Yeah, this happens at least once a year or so.
It says, indeed, in the past, even threats that the U.S. government might fail to meet its obligations have caused real harm, including the only credit rating downgrade in the history of our nation in 2011.
Yeah, so it went from a AAA rating down to a AA plus. So give me a second here. It says, why was the U.S. credit rating downgraded? It says, more broadly, the downgrade reflects our view that the effectiveness, stability, and predictability of American policymaking and political institutions have weakened at the time of ongoing fiscal and economic challenges to a degree more than we envisioned, since we assigned a negative outlook on April 18th. So basically, hold on. Basically, the Standard & Poor's S&P, they lost confidence in America's ability to do what it's supposed to do. To be like everyone else everyone has bills, and everyone has to pay their bills. If you don't pay your rent, what happens? You get kicked out. But America don't gotta pay their rent. America can just say, well, I'll pay you next Tuesday. And then next Monday comes and they say, well, hold on. I'll pay you next Thursday. And then next Wednesday comes and right before Thursday hits, they say, hey, I'll pay you next Friday. And America just keeps doing this. And if somebody owed me money and they kept saying that they were going to push me back, there's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a time, hey, look, I need my money. No, Joe, I need my money. And interest is piling up on top of that. So you can see how when you get into this situation, it gets dire. There has to be an end. And when that end comes, that's when the reset, or that they're going to pivot to a new system. And that's how you're going to get the CBDCs and ultimately the M.O.T.B. Because everyone's going to be affected. Not just nations, but the people within those nations are going to be affected.
It said that in Revelation 3:10. You know what I'm saying? It says that the temptation is going to come upon all the world.
Yeah, matter of fact, get that real quick.
This is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Yeah, so how's it going to come? How's the temptation going to come on all of the world to try them if it's only kings and nations that are going to be tempted with the M.O.T.B.?
Right. Yeah. Right.
No, we're all going to have to go through this. We're all going to literally have to go from this to this, and then they're going to implement this. Yeah. And at that time, everyone's going to have a choice to make. Yeah. Are you going to fall for the temptation? Are you going to, because he did the pit. We read it. He did the pit. Are you gonna fall into the pit with him? Because it said that he did the pit and he fell into the pit. It didn't say that people didn't fall into the trap. You're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna fall into his trap, and they're gonna go along with this M.O.T.B system.
And that's why you see things gradually happening throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, like the food plants that mysteriously went up in flames. The chickens and these cows just dying off. Now eggs are higher. What they said meat is say the meat that cows meat from cows pretty much that they're destroying the earth and pretty much their cycle of when they eat grass it produces good I forget the word.
It's the gas. It's basically saying
cow farts.
Cows are farting too much, so it's breaking up the ozone layer or some bullshit like that. Gas emissions from cows.
So then what they're doing is creating scarcity of product that you got to rely on them.
Yeah.
You know, you got to rely on them. Eventually, when things get too high, like you said, some will fall into that trap because you can't afford food. You can't afford the cost of living. It's high. It's too fucking high. So now you got to conform to the beast system. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we pray. I write this out. We are protected when this really kicks off, so that we can remain and have our faith, like Isaiah 33:6 says. You know, because like the brother mentioned, and the scripture said, we all got to deal with it. You know, not one of us are exempt from the temptation that Esau is going to bring.
Kind of. So, getting back into
you can get
the other one.
You got the rest of that one, didn't you?
It had like one more paragraph.
Okay.
It says, Moody's Analytics sees a failure to lift the debt limit as cataclysmic.
Get that word, Baba Kushai.
When you go into the word cataclysmic, you got it?
Yeah, cataclysmic.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, when you get the etymology of the word cataclysmic says pertaining to or of the nature of a cataclysm, which a cataclysm says a deluge, a flood, severely destructive.
Yeah, it's gonna be severely destructive. Like the destruction of America, that's gonna be a cataclysm. It's gonna be a great destruction, and the debt limit has the ability to be very destructive to society in the whole world. Everyone's gonna be affected. Everyone's gonna be affected.
It says, researchers believe the effects would be a GDP decline of almost 4 percentage points, 6 million lost jobs, and stock prices plunging by a third.
Hey, so if GDP, which we went over gross domestic product, if that declines 2 straight quarters, then that means it's a recession. Mm-hmm. And if that happens, it said what? 6 million lost jobs right there. If 6 million people lose their jobs, how many people gonna lose their homes?
Yeah.
How many people gonna, like, right now? It's a lot of help me out. What's they called? Where the people give you food and stuff.
Like the food
pantries. It's a lot of pantries going on right now. I could think of like 3 or 4 that pop up every week or every other week or once a month, and that line be long. Yeah. That line is getting longer and longer and longer every week because people are I've seen him with my eye. Hey, I've been to a few of them.
So
I need some groceries.
Imagine major cities though. This is just Omar. Imagine major cities.
There was I seen one in Texas, and the line was all the way down the highway. It was crazy, like miles of cars waiting to get just basic food, some bread, some eggs, a couple canned goods, you know, maybe some chicken or something, some milk, just basic groceries. Imagine if 6 million people lose their job right now, the hurt that's gonna cause.
Major, bro. That's major.
Can I read this
Yeah.
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few."
Yeah, man, strong men gonna bow themselves. Because the man's job is to what? To protect the family, to provide. And if that man can't provide, he can't protect the family, you're gonna feel like a piece of shit.
Right.
It said, and the grinding cease because they're few. It's talking about the jobs.
And that's major because we've been seeing lately, you know, it's been major layoffs. Like the most major one I seen recently was that Amazon. You know, and they laid off, I want to say like 10,000 employees or something like that. And that's a big number. In comparison to 6 million. 6 million is you know what I'm saying? That's a big ass number. So 10,000 people, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, 28,000.
28,000. You know?
Google let off like 12,000. Twitter let off a huge number of people. You know?
This is just the tip of the iceberg, man. This is the tip of the iceberg, and we sitting here watching Esau destroy this kingdom.
So put it to you like this: they said 6 million jobs lost. Is 1.964 million people in Nebraska. The whole state. So imagine if everyone in this state lost their job 3 times over.
And
that's like the population, everyone in Nebraska, Iowa, and probably Kansas just lost their job.
And Salakia, it's 28,000 people. With the layoffs of Microsoft and Amazon put together, it's 28,000 layoffs altogether. You know? That's still a huge number of people to let off from a job.
This is like you know, like just for example, like where I work, I say between all the shifts there, I would say it's about maybe 100 something people, 100 north of 100 a little bit. If everybody in that motherfucker lost their job, that's major. That's only 100, couple of hundred maybe, you know? Jeez.
And then I seen something where there was they were taking away bonuses. I think I don't remember exactly who it was, but they were giving like a monthly bonus or a yearly bonus, and they just took it away. So anyone, I believe it was a monthly bonus. So anyone dependent on that monthly bonus, you know, they're hurt. Imagine you getting an extra $500 to $1,000 each month, and you're gonna do what? You're gonna spend it.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend it on bills, wants, or needs. At the end of the day, you're gonna spend it on a want or a need. More than likely, you're gonna spend it on a need. Because or people at that live at or above their means. Very rarely do you see people live below their means. So if they're making an extra $500 a month, that money is already allocated. They're going to get them a car, or they're going to do something with that money. And now that money disappeared, and now that car's gone. Maybe you were using that towards your rent, and now you can't afford your rent. But it can be gone just like that. Off of a stock market crash, off of the default, and it's all because of this debt-based system, which is why they gotta pivot over to the CBDCs, which we're about to go into.
Okay, so this is from on financialtimes.com. It says from January 25th, 2023. It says CBDCs are set to transform how payments are made. It says development of digital currencies is gathering pace around the world. It says in the late 19th century, there was a controversy in England over what some saw as a usurper to the established monetary order, paper banknotes. At the time, the use of paper currency to complement gold and silver coins was seen by opponents as unduly disruptive and prone to causing instability.
Right, so the same way people are looking at the CBDCs right now and not really trusting it, thinking it's shaky or whatnot, is the same way people back in, the late 1800s were looking at paper opposed to actual physical silver and gold. Because that's what actual money is: silver, gold, land, cattle. Not this, but now they transfer over to this, and now we don't know nothing but this. And then they got what? They got credit cards, and now you got your phone, and then you're going digital. So, like the brother was saying, it's gradualism. You're ushering out the one, and you're coming in with ushering in the new.
Okay. It says. It says during 1891, the Financial Times reported that banknotes in England, unlike in Scotland, were met with such suspicion that it was difficult to use them in day-to-day payments.
Right, because there's no trust. The only reason people are still using dollars is because they believe there's a value in it. They trust that I can go to the Quickie Mart right now, and I can pay my dollar, and I can get a squishy. Am I lying?
I don't know what squishy is.
I don't know what squishy is, but I'm sure you can get it though. I'm sure you can get it.
Get the cinnamon though.
It says
you can get your honey bun.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you go into the Quickie Mart, get your honey bun. But if they say, well, you can't use dollars, you got to use Bitcoin, or you got to use seashells. Well, now, like, oh, I don't got no seashells. I don't got Bitcoin. Well, what am I gonna do? It's instability. It's unstable. There's no confidence in that. They're not used to it. People are used to swiping their cards. That's where it pivoted from this, because when I was a kid, all you had was cash and food stamps, actual food stamps. But then, that's when, you had to be rich. I thought only rich people had credit cards when I was a kid, But now they came out with the debit card, and now your bank account is with your debit card, and then you can just tap. You just tap your phone and pay with your phone. And now one bank account is attached to your Cash App, it's attached to the other Cash App, it's attached to another card, and you can just tap it on your phone. Everything is one system now, man. The Internet of Things, the singularity. Just like they were saying on Terminator 1, when they were in the car and he's explaining to Sarah Connor like what the Terminator is and what's happening. Basically all the machines got on the same page to take out people, but there was a singularity, and that's what they're pushing for right now with the 5G, 6G, and all of this. And so that your TV can talk to the lights, can talk to the computer, can talk to the refrigerator, can talk to your car, can talk to your watch, can talk to your phone, and everything's on one cord. So I can just, hey Siri, start the car, and your car start.
But
yeah, you can't right now.
It says a similar debate is underway on the development of central bank digital currencies, which is gathering pace around the world. CBDCs are set to transform how payments can be conducted. About 11 countries have launched the CBDC, while 17 are running a pilot program on them. according to a tracker from the Atlantic Council. A further 33 have one under development, and 39 are carrying out research on CBDCs.
So, hey, man, it's not just one country or people whispering about it. This is prevalent. They said, 7 countries already have CBDCs? And now they're running pilot programs. People are testing the waters. They're sticking their toe in the water. Because they want to know, okay, they can see that this is where the pivot is going. So they want to do a dry run, a test run, to see how people are going to react to it. How's the money going to transfer back and forth? And you best believe all these other countries, they're watching these countries where the CBDCs are already in there.
Congrats.
Yeah, good.
In Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And I really just grab it for the all part, because this ain't just going to be a thing that's in the U.S., it's going to be worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, all these countries are going to follow suit.
Yeah, there was I forget exactly who said it, somebody in U.S. Congress, they said pretty much the system that China has is what America aims to achieve. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the way that they're doing things, they're M.O.T.B'd out, pretty much, you know? And that's where America, that's what the route they plan on taking. You know, and like we've been seeing, gradually pushing that dollar out the way. Everything's been becoming more digital, right? That image is getting clearer and clearer. Exactly. And it's just a matter of time, man, before America has to really face the things that you see these other countries going through. You know, and that's a big part of why a lot of Americans are in that mindset of, oh, what ain't gonna happen in our generation. Speaking about prophecies, you know, we won't focus particularly on the M.O.T.B. because it hasn't happened on a full-fledged level yet. So it's like, whatever, just like in the days of Noah, man. You know, they didn't believe, though it was told them. You know, we tell us as men of the Lord, we tell you, but at the same time, Esau Edom is showing you, right in your face.
Right in your face. It's manifesting. You know. You want me to continue on this?
Yeah.
All right, come on. It says,
No, go ahead.
It says, but some CBDC critics say they are not needed because the current system works, and they may bring unforeseen risks.
If the current system works, the world wouldn't be $300 trillion in debt.
Right.
Simple as that. Right.
Drop the mic. You walk off the stage.
It says, this seems short-sighted, not taking into account future payment needs. The case for CBDC is a pragmatic one. They extend what central bank money can do, enhancing its utility to ensure it remains future-proof. Part of a broader trend towards...
Hey, hold on. You said to ensure it remains...
Future-proof.
Future-proof. That means infallible. It won't fail in the future. There's no leaks in it. There's no holes in it. Whatever happens is going to succeed. Why? Because the last time they changed the money over, it obviously failed terribly. So they want to switch over to something that they believe won't fail. And if they have complete control over not only the money, but over the people, then how could it fail?
I got a precept for you. This is Psalm chapter 90. Psalm chapter 49, verse 11 says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, you know, and they're planning for this future. Like, nah, this is about to get shut down, you know. But this whole CBDC system is set up for some future that they have in mind. This new world, you know.
Quick reset. So Jeremiah 51, and the point is 9. I'm sorry, 7. It says Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her, right? He's going, and this is, let me finish this line. Take balm for her, and so she may be healed, right? Because right now, America is being hit with what? That thick clay.
Yeah.
Okay? It says we would have healed Babylon. This is why they're doing the, trying to raise the ceiling and things like you mentioned, kicking the can down the road. Thinking that there's going to be better days. But at the end of the day, we see where this is going. And the scripture says it clearly, we would have healed Babylon, but she's not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right? So once this new system that Esau Edom tries to bring in, guess what? The Most High is going to cast snares upon his head, man. And it tells us that in Job. He's ready to fulfill his enterprise, right? The Most High is going to, roughly paraphrase, the Most High is going to shut the program down. Okay? This is a beautiful time to know this, man. It's a beautiful time, as Akira was saying, I concur. I'm sure y'all brothers can concur too. It's a beautiful time to be alive, man. That was it today.
So
I gotta appreciate it real quick. This is just laying back off what you said. This is Psalm 64:2. It says, "Hide me from the secret counsels of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity."
And in that secret council, you see that they just met with the Davos. That was one of their many councils that they kept. And what are they doing? They going to these meetings, talking about how they're going to change the world, what they're going to do with people, how they're going to monitor the food, so on and so forth. World problems. That's why. But who's invited? Are we the people invited? Do we get the drop on it? No. Did they meet? They meet in darkness. The book of Psalms tells us that, right?
Who whet their tongues like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot arrows, even bitter words. So they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
And the perfect is talking about Israel. Because at the end of the day, all of Esau's plans, his councils, secret councils, essentially is aimed at the nation of Israel. The whole world is going to suffer it, no doubt, when we see that. But Esau, it says that we're going to war with him from generation to generation. So everything that he does on the left-hand side is first aimed at Israel. Everybody else is going to let the chips fall where they may. But it says that they may shoot in a secret at the perfect. Is that what it says? Shoot in secret?
That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Mm-hmm. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Yeah, and he has no fear of a consequence for doing these things, such as putting us in the neighborhoods that he's putting us in, right? Last hire, first fire type situation. We're the butt of that, man. And he has no shame in it. Of course, there's a lot more to it, going back to the transatlantic slave trade, so on and so forth. Back then, what we're talking about now, Esau Edom is aiming to destroy the elect because he lost that birthright, man.
It says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
This is how Esau Edom knows what to do towards us, as it says in Revelation, the accuser of thy brethren. He knows how to put us in a position to where we're going to mess up. Can you read that again?
They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
Yeah, because when Esau digs into his trick bag of evil, he dig it deep. You know what I'm saying? He about to pour something out that you ain't never seen before. This is what this man was made for.
That's what this whole system is.
Right.
It's him going into his bag of tricks, like you said, and pulling out an awe.
Right.
Pulling out slavery. Right. Pulling out the charagma, a kwai, an imprinted mark, an incision.
Piercing, cutting, At the end of the day, that's that. But that's it right there. What you said, that digital art. You know, because that's what essentially he's going to try to rule the world with. You know, making people, branding people with his stamp, with his mark. Spoken up in Revelation, like Brother brought out earlier. So that this, everything is playing out how it's supposed to play out at the end of the day. You know,
it says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. You know? Hey, at the end of the day, the Most High is going to take them out, man. They're just setting all of this up just to get hit with that 40. Just to get hit with that 140-40. That 1-4-40.
I got it. Job 20:22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yeah, man. And when he said, matter of fact, get that word wicked right there.
When you go to that word wicked, H6001, it says, laborer, sufferer, wretched one.
Yeah, man, people's going through it. Who's going through it? The righteous. Right? The Israelites, man. We're going to be at your neck. Right?
Laborer, sufferer, wretched one. Laborer, workman, sufferer.
That's like,
oh, it's like. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
There you go. You know, and this is at due time, man, because at the end of the day, we know us that the Most High have in light, calling on Yahweh Rashad, we see your plans, right? Now you do have 2/3 or Israelites, and I'll say Israelites in the world that they're kind of getting privy to the things that you're doing. But when your plans are fully made manifest unto them, like the brother said, it's gonna be all hands on deck. All hands on deck, man, because guess what? People are getting tired of your shit, man. Your unjust laws, the way you treat the people, your time is coming. You know, you just what they say, just wait on it. All right, in due season, the Most High will render his indignation, because we're not going to do anything. The Most High is going to do all of it. You know, he's going to be the one to take you down. Okay, we have no power. The only power we have are these scriptures. You know.
So it says the case for CBDC is a pragmatic one. They extend what central bank money can do, enhancing its utility to ensure it remains future-proof. Part of a broader trend towards increasing diversification in payments, CBDC support financial innovation and promote competition. This is a matter of fairness too, since offering payment and settlement in central bank money is an advantage. Alternative payment systems should have access to it.
So basically, right now, if I go to Mexico, $1 is like 12 pesos or something like that. Or if I go to Zimbabwe and $1 American dollar is 10,008 dollars or whatnot, it's not a fair play. When they bring into this one world government, this one world system with one currency, now everyone's on a level playing field. That's where I said it promotes competition. So now you can be in South Africa or the deepest jungles in Africa, but your business got the same chance of surviving as somebody in New York. Essentially, it may not have the same population around it, but the money backing behind it is the same. The buying power, I'll say, is the same. So if I go to buy something from Zimbabwe, if I go to buy something in New York, it's not going to cost me my life savings. It's going to cost me the same as if they bought something from me. So that's what they're wanting to say. Well, we're gonna make it fair for everyone. All right, that's them trying to sweeten the pot, trying to convince you of that it's not wicked, basically. Give the little guy a chance.
So it says central banks currently issue banknotes for the general public and reserves for interbank high value payments. Banknotes are a physical token or bearer instrument and rely on the cash infrastructure, including ATMs and cash registers.
Hold on. We're going to back that up because you said something. You said central banks currently issue banknotes for the general public. So, we have, dollar bills and whatnot. And then it said, and reserves for interbank high value payments. So that's banks sending money back and forth. That's me taking money. I get paid, from my job, and my money goes into a bank, and then I go and I buy something from Yatazak's store. Then Yatazak takes that money and he puts it in the bank, and the money is swiping the card, and the money's traveling back and forth. That's what it's saying right now. But my bank that I bank with is separate from your bank that you bank with. So now these two banks got to talk to each other. Or go ahead, what you was at the part with the ATM?
God, so it says banknotes are a physical token or bearer instrument and rely on the cash infrastructure, including ATMs and cash registers.
Right. So now, or if you want to get money if you want to get money, you gotta do what? You gotta go to the bank to get it, or you gotta go to the ATM to get it. Or if I go to the store and I pay for my dozen eggs, you gotta put the money in the cash register, or maybe the ATM don't got the money, or maybe I need $500 and it's only a $200 limit, or I go to the store and I pay with $100 bill because that's all I got. I've been balling this week, and they ain't got the change to give it to me back. These are all the downfalls of cash is what they're saying. They're still, again, they're saying they're going to make things smooth. They're going to make things easier for you. All right, go ahead.
It says reserves or book entry or scriptural monies similar to a commercial bank deposit and live on account-based payment systems. It says a CBDC is a digital token that typically circulates on blockchains or other platforms based on distributed ledgers to record ownership. In March, there will be a key test for them, an EU pilot for market.
Hold on. So we're gonna jump back here.
So it says.
Yeah, go ahead. Start back at the CBDC.
A CBDC is a digital token that typically circulates on blockchains or other platforms based on distributed ledgers to record ownership.
And that's really all that it is. It's a ledger. It's basically a computer writing down, okay, you bought a pair of Nikes. And then that you bought down a pair of Nikes is being recorded simultaneously over 1,000 times in 40 countries. Almost like you need two witnesses. So I bought a pair of Nikes from Foot Locker, and it's being recorded all those different times to basically concur that and have proof that you bought this money. So now it's on record. It's basically a digital record.
So it says, in March, there will be a key test for them. An EU pilot for market infrastructures based on digital ledger technology is scheduled to go live. It is meant to trial the adoption of trading and settlement of tokenized securities before regulation is amended to accommodate them.
Right. So it's just a trial. It's a trial run to see how society is going to implement these CBDCs. How are the people going to shun them? Are people going to get into them? Is it going to be the older people that doesn't want to mess with it? Is it the younger people? And they're just going to take all their notes. And they're going to see who's messing with it, who's not messing with it.
Yeah.
in what areas are they messing with it? Are they buying this with it? Are they not buying that with it? And then you're going to go on one of these secret councils and give everybody a presentation. Okay, well, in the month of May, all right, we had a 43% increase because it was Mother's Day and everyone was buying flowers, and that's what they do. So read that one more time, Baba Bashar.
Khan. So it says in March there will be a key test for them. An EU pilot for market infrastructures based on digital ledger technology is scheduled to go live. It is meant to trial the adoption of trading and settlement of tokenized securities before regulation is amended to accommodate them.
Yeah, so they're doing all that before it's regulated. All right? So they basically have all the information that they need. And then what? They can take that information and then apply it to the M.O.T.B. Because if you're not messing with a CBDC, you're not going to be messing with a CHI to the P in your hand. So they know who to eliminate. Right. Remember the Georgia Guidestones? Georgia Guidestones said that they wanted to keep the world under 500 million in perfect harmony. So they need to get rid of 7.5 billion people. Who's going to be on that list? The people who ain't messing with the CBDCs? The elderly? You can get rid of them. You know? These Hebrew Israelites? Oh, you can get rid of them. You know?
It goes back to what's the name of that system that they had set up? You know, they got like red. Red,
different lists.
Yeah, the red list, the blue list, the yellow.
I can't remember the exact name of it. But you know, the highest risk, like you mentioned, to this system are those who are enlightened and bringing the truth out. Right? The Hebrew Israelites. You know, of course you have whistleblowers as well, but mainly it's mainly been the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai that have been bringing out information that's making you change the way you do things. Right? You change the whole I ain't gonna say we, the word of Yahweh Shem Shai has changed the way they operate on YouTube. The YouTube's not the same. You know, the way that certain laws are not the same. You know, they're trying to take away freedom of speech. Why? Because too much information is coming up. Mm-hmm. Too much shit. Jeremiah 49:10 says that Esau, roughly paraphrasing, he can't hide no more. Because of the mouthpiece of Yahweh Shem Shai is putting out information that the people need to know. You know, we're not making anything up. We're going off of what we know to be facts, what we know to be first, what we know to be scripturally factual, and then we watching your moves, man. We see what you're doing, and it's lining up with prophecy.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you had a.
Oh no, I was just going to say that. If you
want. No, you.
Okay. Can you skip down to the paragraph that says CBDCs have been instrumental?
So it says CBDCs have been instrumental in exploring new approaches to foreign exchange trading. In conventional foreign exchange transactions, the funding and settlement of trades are divorced. Processed through correspondent banks, long delays are common.
So what they're planning to do is expedite everything. Because right now, things take, 3 to 5 business days. If I go and I spend at your car store, I buy some shoes, right? He gets the money and swipe it on my card. Bam. Money go in his account. Well, I bought the shoes for my little brother, but they don't fit, so now I need a refund. Well, I don't just get a refund on my card. It takes them 3 to 5 business days. Right. So what happens is why it takes 3 to 5 business days is because that money has to go from my bank, or slightly from his bank, to the government, from the government back to my card. That's why it takes 3 to 5 business days. What they're saying is with the CBDC, the money's going to go streamlined from him, or from me to him, and if I need it, back from him to me. Cutting out the middleman.
Yeah. Right. Man, you slide down. You slide them.
Which, when you look at it from the people's angle, they're gonna be with it.
Right.
Nobody wants to wait those 3 to 5 business days. I've taken those calls. Nobody wants to wait 3 to 5 business days to get their money back for a refund.
I don't see the problem. It's so convenient.
Well, you took my money when I made this payment. How come I can't get my money right back?
Especially Jake.
People, people are gonna be down with the system, though, bro. People are gonna be down with it. So I can just put this in my hand. I just walk in the store and wave it. That's it.
And this is why we say that we give all praise on our royalty out Shy, bro, because not only is this man's agenda so blatantly clear what he's trying to do, but Jake is really gonna fall for it. And not even just Jake. You have a lot of people that's gonna fall for it, but our people, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, are gonna fall for it. Especially the women. I gotta take care of my kids. What about, Christmas and So you're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that your house is so-called stable. At the end of the day, yes. Hey, like one of the elders mentioned, he said that when you get that CHIP, you become unrecognizable to the Heavenly Father, man. But the way that Esau is presented, he put it on the platter for you. So yeah, you're gonna eat that up with the shrubbery on the side, man. And I pray that we get through it. I pray that we get through it and remain faithful. That's the main thing we want to do, and the main thing we push to our people, is that we're able to maintain without this man's help, knowing that if we take his help, the Most High, who's mightier than all, is going to pretty much be against us. And it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. That should bring some type of fright in your heart, but towards righteousness. Was it through the fear of the Lord we persuade, man? Because the Most High and the miracles and the works that He do are for sure. The Psalms tell you that His testimonies are sure. Everything that He's done and recorded, everything that He's planning to do, the Most High he ain't dropped the ball at all. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is a man of His word, right? It's Numbers 19. The Most High is a man of His word, man. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
God, it says CBDCs outline an entirely new architecture, facilitating cross-border and offshore payments in an instant. They simplify, speed up, and de-risk foreign exchange trading. This may allow CBDCs for smaller economies to play a more prominent role, leading towards more diversified international payments and reducing the reliance on a very narrow set of national currencies today.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying, you can have a person in Zimbabwe on the same platform with the same purchasing and buying power as someone in New York, okay, and they can trade back and forth on the same level, right? Because right now, what you got the American dollar, you got the euro, the ruble, the yuan, the British pound. Those are pretty much the 5 major currencies, and everyone's spending in those. But there's countless other currencies. Everybody got their own currency in their country, and they have to equal up to those. But once everybody's on that same playing field, then everyone has a chance. You can turn the third world into the first world in an instant. That's what they want you to believe. But you got to do it. You got to take that M.O.T.B. Yeah. And they want you to believe that you're going to be on the same playing field, that you're going to have an equal opportunity, that you can have a chance. But hey, at the end of the day, you're going to be a slave for this man.
It says this may well be the year that will see the major adoption of CBDCs for security settlements made real and important advances in the use of them for foreign exchange trading.
Hey,
yeah,
Lord's will, this is the year.
We're only in January. We're only in January.
A hopeful year of all the prophecies coming to pass.
Come
on.
It says the crypto world, a heavy user of blockchains, has seen difficult times lately. Central banks have remained undeterred to deploy the technology to facilitate CBDCs. It is an affirmation that crypto...
So even though crypto is down right now, it said the central banks are undeterred. Their mind is made up. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron to do this. Why? Because they're digging that pit. They're setting the great trap. They have to.
Proverbs 21 verse 1 says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So, just going into how the Most High is, he's putting the spirit on everybody from Esau, Edom, these different kings, to do what they're doing. That prophecy may be fulfilled. They think that they're doing it on their own. I mean, they good actors. They playing their role properly, but the Most High is in control of that. That's it.
God, it says, a little more left to this. It says central bank money has not seen many innovations since the adoption of modern banknotes, but now these institutions have a rare opportunity to shape the evolution of money itself.
They have a rare opportunity to shape the evolution of money itself. So that's money transitioning from one thing into another and evolving into it, going from gold to dollar bills to credit card to an RFID, M.O.T.B, being cut into your flesh. Okay? Lord's will, this is the year. Yeah. Anybody have anything else? Hey, so both of these articles will be in the description. Lord, this was edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men, the women, and the children who follow. Hey, shalom.
Shalom.